As per my shirt, Mom Life. Oh, wrong way. Mom Life. First thing I guess I'm going to talk about, my first video that I'm going to make, talking to myself into a microphone. It's going to be about being a mom. And the stigma around it, right? There's a lot of, you need to breastfeed, or, you know, you need to make sure that, you know, sleep with your baby, don't sleep with your baby, breastfeed, bottle feed. There's so many this or that's, cry it out, comfort them. There's a lot of different things associated with being a mom, right? And it's like, what do you do? Especially when you're a first-time mom and you have no experience. Let me explain something to you, okay? My first experience holding a baby was my firstborn. Had never changed a diaper, had never done any of that. She survived. She's actually a really sweet girl. But we got really lucky with her. But it's really difficult trying to figure out what works. But at the end of the day, what matters is what works for you. I'm sorry, my hair is kind of bothering me. I have ADHD and I am a fidgeter. At the end of the day, all that matters is what works for you. The biggest things that I would say, I mean, they're all big, but for me personally, what's important is that having a baby is very stressful. It's very overwhelming. It can be a lot, especially when you have a baby that is colicky, which I am really blessed to say that I haven't had that experience. But some people do, and I'm sure in those times you don't know what to do. You just want to help your baby, but you're also frustrated and you don't have the ability to take care of yourself. For me, there are definitely times where I have had to sit my baby in their crib or their playpen, and because they were crying so hard and I couldn't figure it out, or I knew what it was, but I couldn't solve the problem, or I wasn't able to do what needed to be done for the problem to get solved right away. Like if you give them medicine, it takes a few minutes for the medicine to kick in. And you got to kind of set them down and walk away. Especially when my youngest was a newborn. Woo! There was countless times where I would have to sit her down in the crib and walk away because I was so overwhelmed that it starts to kind of turn into anger. You're just like, oh, but you're not angry at the baby. You know, it's not directed. It's just between the hormones and all the things you have to do, the lack of sleep, the not being taken care of yourself. It adds up. And at the end of the day, it's important to take care of yourself as well as your children. I am by no means an expert in taking care of kids or babies at all. I have just happened to be really blessed with two sweet girls. Yeah, so it's important to take care of yourself as well. I have a 6, almost 7-year-old, and I have a 4-month-old. So there was some time in between them. And because of that, luckily, I have a kid that is old enough to brush her teeth. She takes showers by herself. You know, she doesn't need all the assistance. So that I do have more time focusing on my 4-month-old when I need to. And then when my 4-month-old is napping, or if she's, sitting in her bouncer, I run around the house and play tag with my older kid. So I try really hard to split up the time between the two so that, neither one is feeling left out. And I'm also blessed enough that my oldest, if she is feeling left out, she used to act out because of it. Okay, not listening, lying, destroying things, all that. And then one day I was like, Lily, what's going on? All right, what's going on with you? You know, what do you need from me? What do I need to do to help you? Talk to me. I'm here. I'm your mom. I'm here to help you. And she said that she was feeling left out and that she wanted some more attention. And I said, okay, that is fair. And I made it a priority to make sure that I was including her in things, whether it's as simple as cooking dinner, doing the laundry, sweeping the floor, running around and playing tag for 5 to 10 minutes. You know, there's some exercise on top of that because we all know how hard that is to get in. You know, even in having her included with helping with the baby. Hey, can you go grab me a diaper? Can you go grab an outfit? Can you grab me the burp rag? You know, there's so many different aspects that instead of being like, no, go play, you could be like, hey, actually, I could use your help right now. And she's all for helping with her little sister. I was kind of worried that because the baby was going to take so much attention that she would feel left out and then start to resent her sister, her baby sister. Luckily, that hasn't happened. She is an amazing big sister. And I think communication is such an important role in that. You know, if she's feeling left out, she knows she can come and talk to me about it. If she, you know, wants to help out, or if she's feeling frustrated, or, you know, if she wants to play or whatever it is, she comes to me and talks to me about it. And I make sure that I leave that door open for her to do that. You know, a lot of people will tell you or act like it's bad for you to apologize to your children if you get upset. I always apologize if I get frustrated and raise my voice or act out of anger. I cool off, I come back, and I tell her, I'm really sorry. This is what I did wrong. This is why it's not okay. And I am working on improving so that that doesn't happen again. It makes her feel like she has this sense of security. She can trust me. And as her mom, that is what I want. And because she feels so safe with me, she listens better. She's a good role model. She's a good role model for her little sister. And she adores her little sister so much. This little baby, she's always like, can I hold her? Can I play with her? You know, we had put the baby on the play mat to do tummy time or something. Lily's right there with her, whether she has a tablet or whether she's playing with her with one of the baby's toys, whatever it is, she is there with her. You know, if that baby starts crying, Lily is right there. What can I do? What can I help? Hey, you know, hey, the baby's crying. Hey, I think the baby pooped. Hey, I think the baby's hungry. You know, she'll just say what she thinks it is and have an urge to help. She wants to help out. She wants to be a good role model. She wants to be there for her. She absolutely loves her sister so much. And that's such a wonderful thing. So I have to say that I personally feel very blessed. I absolutely lose my cool at times. Abso-frickin-lutely. I lose my cool. But it's what I do after that matters. At least to my eldest. You know, my baby, she doesn't really know yet. And I don't really lose my cool with my baby. So, again, sit down, walk away, 10, 10, 10. Put her down 10 minutes. It can be for 10 minutes, for 10 feet. And I'm trying to remember what the other 10 is for. I don't know. There's been one time where I had to step away from the baby for 20 minutes. And meantime, I'm Googling, like, is it okay to leave your baby crying for 20 minutes? You know, doing all that. Like, oh gosh, is my baby going to get hurt? or anything like that, if I have to walk away because I'm not calming down, it is much better to walk away calming down. Your baby is not going to get hurt crying. All right? The baby will not be hurt from crying. Because dealing with all those hormones, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know, and I have good babies. My Lily, as a baby, she was wonderful. Like, spoiled us. Like, when we had her, it was like, what are people complaining about? Why are people complaining about having a baby? Like, she slept in her own room. She slept in her own crib. You know, she was a breeze to feed. She didn't ever really spit up much. She didn't get acid reflux. There was none of that. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. She did fuss about things sometimes. But when it was bedtime, she lay down and went to sleep. She would fall asleep anywhere. She didn't care. If she was tired, she was going to sleep, period. Whereas our youngest is not like that. She's very particular on where she sleeps, how she goes to sleep, and if there's any sound, noise, anything, she's not going to sleep. She's like super curious, super aware and alert of everything going on, and that can cause a lot of problems. She will not fall asleep if she's not latched. So that can kind of be stressful, but it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, she's 4 months old, so if she can only fall asleep while she's latched, I'm gonna let her only fall asleep while she's latched. Right now is not the time to be like, that's just not my personal style of parenting. There's also, you know, I grew up with the let them cry it out. That's what my mom did with me. And at first, that's kind of how I figured I was going to be as a parent. But as time has gone on, I've realized that's not my style of parenting. And I feel a lot closer with my kids not doing that than to do that. With Lily, when she was a baby, if she like fell or did something, you know how you kind of just wait? You stare at them, wait for them to react before you react? Oh no, not me. I laughed. Obviously not if she was really hurt. But if they did that fault where they look at you and go, I would go, you okay, bud? You all right? And then the reaction would be, you know? And it was really cute. So that's kind of what I do. If, like, just earlier today, Lily and I were running around the house playing tag. And I turned around for 1 second and I hear the biggest thump. And I turn back around. Lily's on the floor crying. And I look at her and I go, what'd you do? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't just blatantly laugh at my child. I laugh when I know she's okay, because if I laugh, she starts laughing. If she is genuinely injured, I do not laugh at her. You know, that's not going to do anything besides hurt her feelings and feel like I'm making fun of her. I know from experience. Not with her, but as a child, for me. Me as a child. And she started laughing. I was like, she full on shrieked, right? And I was like, what did you do? Did you like run into my shoe? Because she was running towards the hallway. And my shoe was turned. It was sitting next to the wall. And she took a minute. She calmed down. And then she looked at me, and I was I was trying not to laugh too much, but I was kind of laughing. And then she started laughing. And I was like, did you run into my shoe? And she was like, no, the wall. And I was like, where'd you hit? Because she wasn't like grabbing anywhere on her body like kids normally do. And in the very beginning, I thought she had like stubbed her toe on the corner of the wall. And so like I didn't laugh right away because I was like, ooh, that's gotta hurt. But she kind of stubbed her toe on the wall, but she mainly hit the back of her hand. And this girl is klutzy. Okay. She had already slipped, like climbing out of the shower as a hiding place. Our tag includes hiding. She had, I think, ran into a door already. She smacked her leg on the table when I was tickling her. And every single one of these times, like, I start laughing, she starts laughing, we're just laughing about it. Like, kids get beat up. It hurts for maybe a second and they're totally fine. If it ends up hurting at all, it's a lot of times it's mainly just loud. But at least with my kid. She's very klutzy. I was the same way as a kid. But you know, that was the one time today that she like just screamed. But then she started laughing about it. And she hit the back of her hand and it had, you know, kind of like a scrape from the wall on it. And I was like, how do you keep... It's like, how are you so klutzy? You keep running into things. Because what she had done was she was trying to run from me. But I was turned the other way. So, I mean, I wasn't even running towards her. But she started to run away. And then she looked back to see if I was behind her. And then hit the wall. Oh, I don't know. It was funny. I might be the only one laughing about that. And that's totally okay. But the point of the matter is, you laugh, your kids laugh. If you're angry, your kids will be angry. The type of energy that you bring to the table is the type of energy that your kids are going to learn to absorb, and also the type of energy that they're going to put out, you know? For example, my kid's dad, my boyfriend Mark, it was, you know, anytime we would all have to go to the store. So the baby, our eldest, him and me. The baby would cry and fuss and all that the entire time. And then one day, I decided to go to the store, just me and the baby, which I hadn't done before. And the baby was fine the whole time. I was in a good mood. The baby was happy. And then it was like that again. But I also had Lily with us. So it was the two kids and me. Everybody was fine. But then Mark joined again. And he was frustrated. I think he was feeling rushed. And he wasn't really wanting to deal with all of it and all that kind of stuff. And once again, the baby was fussy and upset the whole time, shrieking the whole car ride. Now she was fed, she was changed. She had taken a 3-hour nap. You know, all the boxes are checked off. Granted, she is teething and stuff like that, but the day prior, she was fine. The day, 2 days before that, she was also fine. So I think what it was is that because Mark was upset, she felt upset. And it's times like that make me kind of realize that the energy you bring to the table really does matter. If you want your kids to be happy, you show them happiness. If, you know, and that doesn't mean you always have to be happy. It can be something as simple as, I want to be happy. I'm having a hard day. So let me look at the positive from today, even though it hasn't been great. Or, you know, trying to see the silver lining in everything. This morning, okay, I was having a rough morning. My oldest daughter looked at me and said, "Mommy, I'm sorry you're having such a rough day." And I went up to her and gave her a hug. How sweet is that girl? And she does things like that. For one, she's just genuinely a really sweet girl. But for two, because that's the side of her that I nurture. I nurture that sweet side. I nurture that curious, energetic, you know, wanting to just be genuine and kind. And so many kids have that in them. What the kid brings out and it matters what part of an attitude you nurture, you know? So if a kid is angry all the time and you give that all the attention, that anger is going to keep showing up. If you kind of don't show as much attention to that, but show a lot of attention, a lot of happiness, a lot of wow, that's great, and joining in with the more positive emotions, then that will show more. Now, there always has to be balance, okay? If a kid gets upset because they hurt themselves, you can't just be like, oh, they're upset. I don't see it. I'm not paying any attention to it. No, because that's not fair either. Like, there has to be balance, because then that kid, if you do something like that, that kid is going to learn, oh, well, I can't show my emotion, or if I do, then my parent doesn't care. And you don't want your kid growing up feeling like their parent doesn't care. I kind of grew up that way. Luckily, my mom and I have a better relationship now, but growing up, my dad was my favorite. But yeah, what you put into it is what you get out of it, so I feel like that's important. Love your kid, but you definitely want balance on their emotions. You don't want to completely block out when they're feeling hurt, when they're feeling upset, when they're feeling frustrated. If they're really upset and just absolutely nothing is helping, try giving them a hug. Something I heard that really stuck with me is, when you go to give your kid a hug, a lot of times you'll give them a hug and then you'll be the first one to let go, right? At least that's how it was for me and the person in the video who brought this up. And then she said, what I've been doing now is hugging them. And when I hug them, I don't let go until they let go first. And I tried that. And I'm telling you, my daughter went to being frustrated more often than not to not being as frustrated as often. And I could tell that she felt safer and more welcomed, if that makes sense. More taken care of and more cared about. So that's just like, I don't know. Every parent is different. Every parent has their own technique. I doubt there's any parents who have ever done the same thing as another set of parents, right? And it also depends on the kids. Some kids have different attitudes and different levels of different things within those attitudes. There's a lot. There's so many different factors. It really just comes down to, you got to figure out your parenting style. And if that style isn't working, being open to trying something new. Because you could be like, oh, well, that's just my parenting style. Is your kid happy? No, but that's just how I parent. I was raised that way, so that's how I'm raising my kid, period, point blank. Okay. But you're not willing to do better for your kid, then you're not going to get better from your kid. If that makes sense. So, I think that's all I have for right now to talk about. Just be flexible with your kids. Results aren't instant. Things get harder before they get better sometimes, especially when you're training with temperament issues and frustrations and stuff like that. But a lot of times you'll see when kids are having issues, it's the parents who need to fix themselves first, not so much the kid. Also, ignore my AC. All right, so let me know what you guys think. If there's any tips or advice that you have, or anything you want to hear me talk about next, I would love to see recommendations, do some research, whatever it may be. I have no idea how this is going to go, if this is even going to be posted. If you're seeing this, I guess I'm committed. All right. Love y'all. Thank you. Bye.